Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the national anthem. Please be seated. It is with great pleasure that we welcome you to the launch of the 5th staging of GATFFEST Film Festival. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and joining me to help officiate this evening's program, the effervescent, vivacious, irrepressible, pulchritudinous Terry Carell Reid. Wonderful. So you'll hear more from her a little later on. She'll be conducting the interviews from our VIP area, and that's where
okay,
she's...
I think my mic is on. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If I may just, you used all of those lovely words for me. You are nothing but tall, dark, and handsome.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
You see, they laughed at you being tall. I didn't say anything at all.
No, I don't have to feel any way about that, because, as I like to tell people, I'm not short. I'm just altitudinally challenged.
There you go, there you go.
And I'm encouraged by my wife, who tells me I might be short, but not short of anything.
Oh.
And with that, I would like to specially acknowledge all the sponsors and partners who are new to GATFFEST. Welcome to the GATFFEST family. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to give a warm welcome, particularly to Ambassador Roberto Garcia Marquez, Colombian, from the Colombian Embassy. Welcome. Bienvenido. Also, Ambassador Masanori Nakano of the Embassy of Japan. Yokoso. Yokoso. Ms. Akila Kaur, representing the Indian High Commission. Namaste. Thank you so much. And to those who have been with GATFFEST through the years, we say a big thank you. We'd like to recognize former Governor General, who is the patron of the UWI Film Project and GATFFEST, His Excellency, the Most Honorable Professor Sir Kenneth Hall, accompanied by Lady Hall. Welcome. We'd like to recognize Professor Ian Boxill, Dean of Social Sciences, S. Carlton Alexander Chair. Welcome. Professor Archibald MacDonald, Principal of the University of the West Indies, Mona Campus. Mr. Noel Greenland, Senior Vice President, Marketing and Operations, Grace Kennedy Foundation. Mr. Andrew Spencer, Executive Director, the Tourism Product Development Company, TPD Co. Our keynote speaker, the Honorable Favold Williams, MP, Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. We're in her constituency, I believe. Ms. Savannah Perido, Business Manager, Center for Tourism and Policy Research, UWI Mona Campus. And I believe we are expecting, if they're not already here, Ambassador Kahar, Embassy of Panama, Ambassador, yes? Ambassador Despax of the French Embassy. Ambassador Aver of the Embassy of Mexico. Ambassador Lee of the Embassy of the Republic of Korea. And we welcome the head of the EU delegation to Jamaica, Belize, Turks and Caicos Islands, Bahamas, and the Cayman Islands, Malgorzata Wasiluska. Thank you very much. May I now invite Professor Ian Boxall to officially welcome you. I'm sure he can do a better job than I did, but of course, we need to recognize he just slipped in there unnoticed, but I'm seeing him now. This is Senator Mark Golding. Welcome, sir. Thank you. Let's have now Professor Ian Boxall to officially welcome you, and of course, he's the magnet behind GATFFEST. Let's welcome Professor Boxall.
Good evening. It's evening, right? After 6. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My good friend and master of ceremonies for the evening's proceeding, Durban Malcolm, has made life easy for me because he's introduced all of the VIP people in the room. But let me also follow on his footsteps by saying that we have a number of persons who are here from the film community. Those are the persons who are members of JAFTA. And we also have a number of other academics who have been with GATFFEST from its inception, and I would like to welcome all of them here. So give them a round of applause. My task today is quite simple, because to be honest with you, this evening's proceedings these have been organized by a wonderful team. They put things together. I told a colleague of mine a while ago that if I had, for some reason, was not able to make it here today, the show would go on quite easily without me. So I want you to put your hands together and thank them for putting together this event for the evening. Let me just briefly say that GATFFEST started in 2013. It is part of the UWI Community Film Project, which started in the minister's constituency. We welcome the minister, who has been a strong supporter since she has become MP for the area. That is to say, the Greater Augustong community. Initially, it was called the Greater Augustong Film Project, but as it grew and embraced other communities across Jamaica, we decided to change the name to the University of the West Indies Film Project. And now we embraced a number of communities, stretching from Kingston to Clarendon to St. James, and we are also going to embrace other communities as time progresses. Essentially, what this project does is we offer a 3-month intensive course to persons in what we term underserved communities. So we take them in. They don't require any sort of certification. What they require is interest, and they have to have lived in the communities. So what we do is we put them through a 3-month intensive program. And this program is aimed at teaching them the rudiments of filmmaking. Now you might ask yourself, why filmmaking? We say, why not? Filmmaking, if you look at the research has indicated that a lot of young men in particular have taken to filmmaking as a way of expressing themselves. But we have used film for not only to help young people express themselves and to deal with issues in their communities, but we've also used it as a way to develop the entrepreneurial drive that resides in every Jamaican, especially those who live in those communities and who have to do things in order to, many creative things in order to survive on a daily basis. So what has happened is that the project has morphed into not only a film project, but it has morphed into an entrepreneurial exercise. And many of our graduates have gone on to start their own businesses. And as time progresses, you will hear about some of these success stories. Essentially, GATFFEST was an outgrowth of that program. And we asked the question, how can we find a forum to help these young people express themselves? And we came up with a film festival. Now, let me say that none of us had actually worked with a film festival. So we were sort of searching in the dark. And what we did was to do our research, and in 2013, we started this very ambitious project called the GATFFEST Film Festival. The first year, as Chappie Sanjus would tell you, the quality of the films that were shown, I remember Chappie saying to me, "Oh, this is a lovely start, but I think you need some help." And Chappie is a very subtle person. What he meant was that we needed some help. That was the first year. By the second year, the quality of the films had improved significantly, because what we did was to reach out to a number of filmmakers across the country and also to engage filmmakers in the United States and across the region. Last year, we had about 80 filmmakers from around the world who entered films in GATFFEST. And out of those 80 films, we showed just over 50. This year, we have in excess of 1,500 films. In fact, let me correct myself. We have 1,600, and these are persons who entered. 1,600 films were entered internationally. We've divided the world into three parts. We say Jamaica, the Caribbean, and the rest of the world. So if we take out the Jamaican and the Caribbean films, we would have had an additional 1,600 films entered from around the world. And I recall when the call was placed on Film Freeway, after the first month, we had about 500. And then going into the second month, we were getting like 1,400, and we said, well, what's happening here? This is bizarre. And I remember Savannah, who was in charge of this, I said, you better check. This doesn't seem right. We're an unknown film festival, and why would we be having 1,600 people applying? But that was the case. When we checked, there were 1,600 films that had entered. And in fact, we were so overwhelmed by these entries that we agreed that we would close off entries. We were supposed to close entries on the 15th of March. We closed entries around mid-February because we could not deal with the number of films that were being uploaded to Film Freeway. What this says to us is that there is an interest, not just in GATFFEST, but I think more importantly in Jamaica and what Jamaica has to offer. And my colleague and friend, Dr. Andrew Spencer, who's now taken hold of the mantle of TPDCO, Tourism Product Development Company, he's here, and I was telling him a while ago that we need to have a discussion because we are entering into another space. Away from film and community development, we're entering into something called film-induced tourism. This year alone, we have over 20-something inquiries from international filmmakers who will be coming here. And we are about to get into discussions with hotels and others about accommodating them. So next year, our planning will be completely different. We will have to start by looking at how do we accommodate filmmakers who are coming to Jamaica simply to take part in GATFFEST. But I want to mention something even more exciting, or just as exciting. And that is to say that we have a product which is resonating with communities across Jamaica. I see Senator Golden here. Senator Golden knows that we will be having a night in Trenchtown. And yesterday, we were in Trenchtown speaking to Dr. Henley Morgan and others about working and having a film night there on the 27th as a build-up. We will have a benefit in Augustown. We are also in Montego Bay. And we have been approached by a number of persons, including one MP, to expand into Onoto Bay area because he has indicated that there are young people over there who could benefit from this project. The point I'm making is that we have exceeded all of the metric. We have a set of metrics in terms of how we determine whether or not we've achieved our goals, and we've exceeded all of them. And we are excited about where the festival is headed. So I say to the principal, and I want to thank Sir Kenneth, who came on board initially when we went to him and told him about the project. And Sir Kenneth, we thank you so much. Lady Hall for your unstinted support. And I also want to thank so much the principal who stepped in from the first day, the first graduation that we held in August in support of this. So we've grown from a small community festival into an international film festival. Now, what differentiates GATFFEST from other film festivals? We are different. We call ourselves a community film festival. And we have, you'll see on our website, we have rules and regulations, and I quote from it. The spirit of the GATFFEST Film Festival is one of social and community upliftment, cooperation, and human development. Therefore, we do not accept submissions that ridicule or demean people, incite hatred towards individuals or groups, or promote violence. It does not mean that you can't use violence or whatever in your film, but it is important to point out that the films must be made in such a way that it makes, or that we feel, as far as those persons who are judging the entries, that they uplift and enhance communities and individuals. So once the films are selected, once they're chosen officially, we concentrate on short films. This is a short film festival, so the films have to be 30 minutes and under. And once they enter the festival, then we have them for a year so we can show them on other platforms. We are entering into an arrangement with UWICFP. Thank for UWICFP here. We have an arrangement with them, and they came on board recently, and we expect that we will be collaborating in terms of showing these films later on UWICFP platform. And we accept films in a number of areas: drama, comedy, romance, animation, documentary, musical, science fiction, horror. So we have films in a variety of areas. So those of you who like all of these genres, you will be able to see them during film night. In addition to that, what we promote is the acknowledgement of our tradition in filmmaking. And so in awarding the prizes, we've named them after some of our more distinguished filmmakers and those who've played an important role in cultural development. So we have the best, we have an award for Best Director, and we've named it after Chappie, Franklin Just Award. We have one for the original screenplay, Best Cinematography, and we have an award named in honor of Lenny Littlewhite, the Lenny Littlewhite Award for Best Local Film. And let me say a bit about Lenny Littlewhite, because Lenny Littlewhite was one of those persons who came on board from day one. As soon as I picked up the phone, called him, he came, and he's been with us from then. We have an internship program when we train the persons who pass through the project. Many of them have gone on to work with Lenny Littlewhite. And even though he's not here today, I know he couldn't make it. I want you all to give a round of applause to Lenny, who has been with us. I also want to mention that we have we have an award named in honor of our principal, and it's called the Archie. And it's the Archibald MacDonald Award for the best of GATFFEST. So we look at all of the GATFFEST films and we take the best and we name it in honor of the principal. And he's very modest, he doesn't like me to say this, but I will say this, principal, that without your support, I am sure we would not have reached where we are. So I want you to stand and take a bow, principal. I wouldn't tell you about the first graduation we had when I told him about the film project. Now, the principal is a surgeon, and he was then the deputy principal. And obviously, one assumes that he was not really into film. He wasn't really. So when I gave him a call, and I told him we were going to have this graduation in Augusttown in Bryce Hill area, he wasn't too sure where to go. But this was a Friday afternoon. Those of you who understand things like happy hour would understand why deciding to give up that and drive into Augusttown to give out an award to people and to an event that you knew very little about, why that would be so important. And he said, I'm going to come. And he drove in there, and he stayed with us, and he's been staying with us from since then. And our first set of equipment and everything, it was because of him that we were able to get this. So we've decided to name this award in his honor, the Archie, which it's many of our filmmakers crave. When we tell them this history, they like to show off this award. But there are many other awards. Some of them you will hear more about as time progresses. I'm simply here to give you a welcome. But I could not leave this podium before I say a few things about Grace Kennedy. I have the Carlton Alexander Chair, the S. Carlton Alexander Chair in Management Studies, and that is sponsored by the Grace Kennedy Foundation. And Grace Kennedy Foundation is, as I said, it sponsors the chair, and the chair really forms the backbone of the Center for Tourism and Policy Research, out of which this project emanates. And Caroline Mahfood and the Grace Kennedy family, they have been so supportive. And I would say again, without Grace Kennedy's support, we would not have started the project, because it was in discussions with Douglas O'Rain. I remember when we met, he said to me, one of the things he would really like to see is to have the university doing more outreach with these underserved communities. So in a sense, this is a response to what Douglas O'Rain, who was chair of the board at that time, what he had suggested. And I want Caroline Mahfood, and there's someone else there from Grace Kennedy to stand and be acknowledged. Noel Greenland, where is he? Oh yes, there, sorry. So, right? So there are the persons, there are a company that is very progressive, and we wish more of our private sector companies could be as progressive in the way in which they have been supporting education. This year we will have two invitees, one by the name of Menelik Shabazz and Andrew Tucker, and you'll hear more about them. Shabazz is a filmmaker he has Caribbean roots, but he's based in England, has a very long line of films that he's made there, and he knows about production, and we believe that by exposing our young filmmakers to him, that they will learn quite a bit. He's a kind of a guerrilla filmmaker, so he brings much to the table. And this year we also experimented with underwater film, believe it or not. We're teaching. We started in Montego Bay, and we actually have a film that was made by two graduates on the coral reefs. And these two graduates from communities in Montego Bay, there are 4 of them who graduated from a course in underwater film. They became scuba divers, they learned, and we have a wonderful documentary on them, and we're going to be expanding this program. So we have underwater filmmakers who you'll be hearing more about very soon, and we're happy to have that as an addition to our complement of films. I didn't mention Karimat. We have had a long also association with them, and I see Professor Dunn is somewhere around here, and I want to thank Karimat for your continued collaboration. Last year, we collaborated on a number of events. Thank you. Yeah. Finally, I would like to say thanks to the sponsors and our partners. There are many. You'll be hearing about them. And the many instructors and supporters who have been with us from inception. The fact that you are all here indicate that you have an interest in where we're going. We have a plan. You'll hear more about this plan. But we're happy to say that the plan that we started with, we are on the road to achieving much more from it. So once again, thank you, and Minister, thank you for coming. Thanks to the Deputy Principal, thanks for the Dean of Medical Medical Sciences, and also thanks to the Registrar for support. So thank you all once again. Welcome to GATFFEST 2017, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Professor Boxill. We're going to turn our attention now to the VIP area, where the lead VIP is waiting to speak with Ambassador Marquez. Over to you, Terry.
Thank you so very much. Can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me? Ambassador Marquez, ¿cómo está?
Terry, very good.
Okay,
Thank you.
very nice to meet you. Show of hands, those of us who speak Spanish? Not Dora Spanish, but fluent Spanish. No, okay. Bueno, mucho gusto conocerla a usted y bienvenida, ¿no? The question that I have for you is, ¿qué fue la chispa? What was the spark between the association or the partnership between the embassy and, of course, GATFFEST?
Well, thank you for all the authorities, for the university, and for all members that, as Professor Jan Boxhill mentioned, are highly interested in this event. This is a very short history, a very short documentary history. Last year, in November, the embassy invited one film director whose name is Andrew Tucker. He is living in Colombia several years ago. And he's an expert on the matters. And we invite him for the Latin American Caribbean Film Festival. But I realized that it was a great opportunity to have other engagement with the JAMPRO, with the Film Commissioner, with the Edna Manley College. And during the panel discussion, Professor Jan Boxhill was the person who conduct the panel discussion. And I realized that both of them, they fit perfect. And since that moment, this relationship has been growing, and Andrew will come again with the support of the university and the embassy. And we feel proud to feel very good because you allow us to be part of the festival. And I think that the title of the festival, From the Street to the Screen, is perfect. What as Professor Jan Boxhill mentioned, and as the job and the task that Mr. Tucker is doing in universities in Colombia. That's the short story.
That's the short story. One more question. So we have, for example, GATFFEST here, underserved communities, and really tapping into the potential of young people. Do you have something similar to that in Colombia? And if not, would you start one?
We have one. We have an important film festival. Actually, the film commissioner just returned from, or not just, but 2 months ago, returned from Cartagena for an important film festival where Andrew Tucker was one of the winners 2 years ago. And I think that this is, as Professor Jan Boxhill mentioned, a great opportunity for communities to express the important issues that they consider that it has to be in the focus of the society, of the authorities. And I think that the goal, as Professor mentioned, is done with the amount of films that was presented for this event. That means that congratulations in advance.
Ah, bueno, embajador, muchísimas gracias por todo. Le agradezco mucho. Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Ambassador Marquez, representing the Colombian Embassy.
Muchísimas gracias, Terry Carell. Thank you very much. Okay. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, you heard reference to the film commissioner. The film commissioner is here. Thank you so much for joining us. Renee Robinson, Jamaica's film commissioner. And now, you heard a lot about the Archie. I mean, you keep watching this space, and eventually that would be like getting a Grammy or an Oscar, right? When you get an Archie, okay? So he is, of course, a strong supporter of outreach programs such as the UWI Community Film Project and the GATFFEST Film Festival. May I ask Professor Archibald MacDonald to deliver his remarks? Professor MacDonald.
Professor Boxhill, thanks for your kind words. Professor Sir Kenneth Hall and Lady Hall, Minister and MP, Favor Williams, Senator Golding, members of the Diplomatic Corps, my UWI colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On behalf of the University of the West Indies, I am pleased to welcome you to this press launch of the 2017 GATFFEST. This is one of the university's most successful community engagement projects. GATFFEST has showcased some of Jamaica's rising talents in film and video production. It has carried to the fore a plethora of stories that highlight the diverse reality of life in Jamaica today. It has often acted as a launch pad for necessary discussions about the complex social, political, and economic issues which are shaping our society. We are here once again today to celebrate in a similar fashion the 2017 Film Festival, which I'm positive will equally deliver several days of entertainment mixed with critical social commentary. The success of the GATFFEST Film Festival, of course, lies in the dedication and hard work of the many participants who seek some form of conduit for their artistic talents. The filmmakers taking part in the festival are representatives of a new generation of storytellers in Jamaica. This event celebrates true artists who seek to go against the grain of social norms, which allows them to express themselves artistically, but which may also provoke thought and change in their communities. This event succeeds because there is underlying drive in all the participants to want to step outside their comfort zone and tell the stories of the voiceless across Jamaica's diverse urban space. The outstanding and long-lasting work of Professor Boxill and his team have helped to shape the project into the community and regional event that it is today, thus driving years of its continued success. It has become a phenomenon that has changed the lives of many, and thanks to this team of community capacity builders, it will continue to make extraordinary waves within our entertainment industry. It is our hope that this film festival will attain significant acclaim that will finally help to place Jamaica's extraordinary filmmaking talents on the global stage. I really must pay tribute to my friend and colleague, Professor Boxill. I recall not so long ago when I think, Professor Boxill, I was deputy principal, and he invited me to meet a group of young people from Augustown. And, well, before that, he had asked me for a room to, to house the project. And I gave him a termite-infested room somewhere in the eastern side of the campus. And it is amazing what has happened with that initial 15 participants to where the Augustown, what was then the Augustown Film Festival. It's amazing what it has morphed into. And I commend Professor Boxill for this. As you heard, the Augustown Film Festival is now the UWI Film Project. And I think, Professor Boxill, that with all those applicants, I don't know what you're going to do with GATFFEST, but I think we should applaud Professor Boxill for this excellent work. To enter this festival. This is a festival for the people, and one which has helped to positively transform many communities across the island. And that is the real story behind the success of the August 3rd, now UWI film project. It is what I just said. It has helped to positively transform many communities across the island, and many young people who had nothing to do and were really marginalized in our society. And a significant percentage of the Jamaican population is marginalized. And it's amazing to see what this project has done for them. This is a real story behind this film festival. As principal, I'm pleased to officially launch 2017 GATFFEST, and I hope it will encourage many others to take up the pen or the lens and begin to make stories of their own. The University of West Indies gladly supports the 2017 GATFFEST Film Festival, and we look forward to seeing the outstanding mix of talent that will be on display. I would urge you all that to attend. Ian, you usually have like 5 nights culminating in the final 10 nights. So I would urge you to attend what has really become an amazing event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor MacDonald. Did they ever make a film about the termites, Professor Boxill? Termite infested. Okay, so now, Terry, I see you've seemingly taken a trip to the other side, yes, the Eastern Hemisphere, and you now have sitting with you Ambassador Nakano of Japan.
Ambassador Nakano. My Japanese is nowhere as good as my Spanish. However, I will say konbanwa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was just simply good evening. I'm just trying to make an impression here. Ambassador Nakano, how did you become involved, or how did the embassy become involved with GATFFEST 2017?
So thank you very much for inviting me to this wonderful occasion. And first of all, I'd like to congratulate GATFFEST community on the 5th anniversary launch. And actually, so our first involvement in this GATS festival, festival was the 2013 with the short documentary film or Japanese documentary film. And this marks the second participation in this festival. So this time we are going to show a Japanese animation film. So actually, as you know, Japan is very famous, well known for the animation industry, and we produced many outstanding filmmakers of animation. So this time we are going to show the one of most recognized filmmaker, whose name is Makoto Shinkai. So whose recent film has been the highest grossing film worldwide. Wow. Whose title of which is Your Name. And this time, this is not. This time we cannot show this new film, but we are going to show another film directed by Mr. Shinkai, Makoto Shinkai. So I hope everyone will be enjoy it, and maybe will be stimulated. The young filmmakers, artists, I'm sure will be stimulated by seeing this wonderful film.
One more question. Do you see more collaboration between our Jamaican animators and, of course, Japanese animators in the years to come?
Yeah. So now we are planning to invite the Japanese animation experts in the future. I mean, maybe in near future. So we are trying, working on this. So if this will be realized, maybe this is a good opportunity for the young filmmakers who are aspiring for the making anime film in the future. Maybe it would be very beneficial and helpful.
Absolutely. Ambassador Nakano, arigato gozaimasu.
どういたしました。
Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Now before I invite our other speaker over, I think what is really exciting about this, if I may, Durban, last year I had the opportunity to host the graduation of the UWI Community Film Project. And I think I see a couple of the faces here who are graduates. We're able to see a lot of their short films, one of which was The Underwater. And I think it's very exciting. No longer is Jamaica just solely about sun, sand, sea, culture, food, music, and of course. But now we have our own filmmakers coming from communities that we'd never dreamed of. And I think absolutely amazing that we not only gave the platform to our local stars, but of course it's now a platform for international interest as well. So again, congratulations. And to the graduates who I met last year, it was a privilege and it's good to see them here again. So thank you again for the support, ambassadors. Thank you so very much. So at this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Noel Greenland to give us remarks on behalf of the Grace Kennedy Foundation, followed by Mr. Andrew Spencer of the Tourism Product Development Company. Please make him welcome.
Good evening, all. Professor Hall and Mrs. Hall, members of the Diplomatic Corps, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, all. What a privilege it is for me to be here this evening to celebrate with our young people from inner city communities. And so for me, it is with a sense of pride and privilege that I was asked to represent Grace Kennedy, the company that I work for, and the foundation to which I'm a member of, to bring greetings on behalf of Grace Kennedy and Grace Kennedy Foundation. The foundation congratulates you on the hard work and dedication that has resulted in this initiative, which has developed into the largest film festival in the Caribbean. It has certainly attracted the interest of participants from a wide range of filmmakers from around the world. You heard about that earlier. This achievement is certainly astounding, and you should all be proud of the respective achievements of our young, bright filmmakers. The Foundation's respect is grounded in two factors. We admire the fact that the Center for Tourism Policy and Research demonstrated a duty of care in developing the UWI Community Film Project, targeting the neighboring community of Augustown. This is very much in keeping with the long-held practice and the tradition established by the founding fathers of Grace Kennedy, which insist that our company must give back to communities that help to build our company. Today, I am here to say thank you, Augustown, and by extension to all the other inner city communities who have used the services of Grace Kennedy. That's why we're able to do what we do, and that's why we do it with pride. The other factor is that the enthusiasm with which the young people of Augustown embraced the opportunity created and gave lie to the popularly held view that, for most part, are inherently shiftless and insolent. You have demonstrated clearly that the opposite is true. You are inherently bright, talented, creative individuals who simply require engagement in an area that allow you to express yourselves. I visited and saw for myself some of the films last year, and I was moved by the creativity and the production that went into the work. Your body of work speaks volume, and we're excited to be part of your growth. I want to recognize and celebrate at this time the first cadre of young people who joined the project 5 years ago in 2012. I recall. You were the guinea pigs. While you were optimistic regarding the project's success, there was no guarantee that it would be a success. But your fervor, your passion, and your intelligence with which you pursue the opportunity, and indeed are tangible results for us to witness today. You are becoming stars and role models within your community. Today, we are here to salute you. My congratulations to all our stakeholders at this time for making the project the success that it has been. I urge you to continue the stellar work that you all have put in. I congratulate the communities who have recognized the value of this project and, of course, sought to avail themselves of the benefits to be gained. I take note of the fact that the result has seen the expansion into other communities. I recognize the community of Jonestown, Trenchtown, Whitfieldtown, Maxwell Park, and other surrounding communities. All are part of this growth. Together we build, together we achieve. I look forward, therefore, to the day when this project will produce filmmakers who will achieve the status in the world of film that Usain Bolt has achieved in athletics. You have the potential to do it. So let's aim high. And as you aim, we will be there to ensure that your aim connects. Grace Kennedy salutes you. Thank you so much. And please encourage those around you to become filmmakers as well. Our talent is unlimited. Thank you very much.
His Excellency Sir Kenneth Hall and Lady Hall, Honorable Favour Williams, Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, members of the Diplomatic Corps, other members of government and the opposition, Professor Archibald MacDonald, Principal and Pro-Vice Chancellor, University of the West Indies, Mona, Professor Ian Boxill, UWI colleagues, filmmakers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. You will notice that I did not get into the details of Professor Boxill's titles. He's one who likes to do things big. And if you think about how Professor Boxill does it, you would have looked at the size of the film festival this year. And if you look back at his time at the UWI, Professor Boxill, well, right now, he is the dean of the largest faculty at the Mona campus. He was once the head of the department with the longest name. And he has so many titles here that if I read them, it would take up my entire 5 minutes. But I'm happy to be home. The UWI is home for me, and it would be remiss of me not to mention that this is a very nostalgic feeling. And there are those who will laugh at that because I've only been away for a few weeks. But I am happy to be here, and I think the timing of this is great because the focus of the administration now is to position tourism in such a way that we understand product development as being more than just the development of the physical space. We're moving away from just looking at product development for tourism as landscaping and artscaping for beautification, and we're taking it a step further to looking at heartscaping. And no, I am not just a Kingstonian who overutilizes H's. I do mean heartscaping. We want to get to the core of what people do. We want to get to the core of who we are as Jamaicans. And I think this particular initiative is going to take us in the right direction, in particular with film-induced tourism. So in light of this fundamental shift, it is a pleasure for me to be here to offer remarks at the launch of GATFFEST Film Festival 2017. Let me begin by congratulating you on your 5th anniversary and sticking to your mission of exposing the filmmaking talents of our Jamaican practitioners and the wider community. It was history's highest grossing director, Steven Spielberg, who said filmmaking is all about appreciating the talents of the people you surround yourself with and knowing you could never have made any of these films by yourself. This speaks to collaboration and partnerships, without which very little gets done. The Tourism Product Development Company, TPDCO, is constantly seeking ways in which we can enhance and develop Jamaica's tourism product. This, as you know, so that we remain the destination of choice in this highly competitive marketplace and provide sustainable livelihoods for our people. GATFFEST is opportune as the Ministry of Tourism seeks to advance the sector on the 5 pillars of economic growth. These pillars, as you may be aware, are building new partnerships, tapping into new markets, developing new products, promoting new investments, and the renewal of human capital. GATFFEST Film Festival is also appropriate as we in tourism seek out new markets by new means. You, through your storytelling, can help us to reach these new markets. Let us therefore not lose sight of the synergies that can be blended between us two. There have been several attempts to embellish the sector, and JAMPRA has gone as far as to appoint a film commissioner to promote Jamaica as a film destination. I commend JAMPRA for the work they continue to do. One of the questions we need to ask, however, is what is it to be derived from our involvement in film, and how does it relate to the tourism sector? The obvious is the exposure that films can provide for Jamaica's tourism product. Our blazing sunsets, our warm sandy beaches, rainforests, our attractions, and the cadence of life generally. The ministry's gastronomy, sports, and entertainment networks also form good fodder for the sector. Film, being a visually stimulating media, allows indirect marketing, especially to our millennial visitors who are drawn to the interactivity of new media, which makes them active participants instead of simply passive consumers. The moving pictures can help lure them to the destination in search of the experiences portrayed in your films. What you do supports the promotion of the destination to diverse audiences from varied spaces. Increased activity in the film sector also means greater revenues for the hospitality sector, especially in the areas of accommodations, food, and beverage. The potential for foreign exchange earnings goes beyond income earned from the services provided. It embraces the entire value chain from production and distribution to box office possibilities. I note that GATFFEST is rooted in community development and community tourism. TPDCO also has its roots in community tourism as we strive to empower communities. In fact, we have an entire department dedicated to community tourism. It therefore behoves us to tell our stories from our perspectives. I implore you to capture the nuances and the uniqueness of our spirit in your productions, to be a part of the maze that inspires people to come to Jamaica, the home of all right. With a global market share of over $100 billion in the film industry, ensure that you get your piece of the pie. I look forward to viewing at least a few of the productions. I encourage you to accentuate the positives of brand Jamaica, kindle that spark in us through your stories, as your stories well told can alter the course of our progress. In our journey from 1908 with films such as Daughter of the Gods to The Harder They Come, Jamaica's first film made in Jamaica by Jamaicans in 1973, to a film festival of this magnitude in 2017, we have made remarkable progress. May the best entries win, and may GATFFEST Film Festival 2017 be a great success, and see many more reels to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Spencer. You just mentioned Daughter of the Gods, which was released, it was filmed in Jamaica, released in October, 17th of October, 1916. At the time, it was the most expensive film ever, $1 million US. And at the box office, it made $1,390,000. It also featured the first ever nude scene, full nude scene. That was filmed. Most of it was filmed at what is known today as Fort Augusta. A lot of filming took place there. They employed about 20,000 people in that film. So it all happened right here in Jamaica. So we have a long heritage in film making in Jamaica and supporting the film industry globally. We should acknowledge Professor Denzel Williams. Where are you, Professor Williams? There he is, Pro Vice Chancellor. Yeah, boy, things and times have changed. Last time I spoke with you, so it is. Congratulations. Patrick Prendergast is also here, Director of the UWI Western Campus. Welcome. So easy to come from Western Jamaica these days, eh? And I'm sure you're going back tonight, right? Highway and all. Okay. So thank you both gentlemen. Noel Greenland, it's the first I was hearing you speak, Noel Greenland. Oh my goodness. Quite a motivational presentation for the youngsters and the people of Augustown. You should do it more often. Well done. Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, the GATFFEST Film Festival started out as the Greater Augustown Film Festival, as you've heard, and was rebranded in 2014 as GATFFEST, but has never forgotten its roots. With this in mind, I now introduce our keynote speaker, Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, and the Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Andrew, Minister Favour Williams. I'm sure she doesn't want me to read all of this, but I'll just quickly go through. No, she says no. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Favour Williams, the Honourable Favour Williams.
Thank you so much. The Most Honorable Professor Sir Kenneth Hall and Lady Hall, Professor Archie MacDonald, and other members of the UWI family, Professor Ian Boxhill, Senator Mark Golding, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, filmmakers, graduates, and upstarts, a pleasant good afternoon to everyone. A pleasant good afternoon to everyone. Let me begin by extending congratulations to the Center of Tourism and Policy Research and the University of the West Indies for this initiative in hosting this uniquely conceptualized film festival. It is important that as we celebrate the 5th staging of GATFFEST, which has become an outlet for Jamaican film producers, that we remember the humble beginnings of this UWI community film project. The history of how we came to be sitting here this afternoon is worth repeating to all of Jamaica because we're being broadcast from here right now. Because many times when we see successful projects or successful ventures, we don't really stop to think about the hard work that goes into producing what we're seeing. So as the story goes, it was in early 2011, a mere 6 years ago, when the UWI Center for Tourism and Policy Research, along with the UWI Township Initiative and Mona Social Services, embarked on a community tourism project for the greater Augustown area. Augustown is a community in my constituency, the constituency of St. Andrew Eastern. And whenever I talk about Augustown, I generally say the community where greatness begins. The aim of all this was to develop the greater Augustown into a self-sustaining and income-generating tourism-based community. That idea mushroomed into an experiment in August 2012, where the Center for Tourism and Policy Research provided a 5-day training course for youth in the community on the basics of filmmaking and production. With the help of community leaders, 9 young persons from the area were interviewed, and eventually 5 successfully completed the program with the help of 2 instructors. The students, in 2 separate groups, produced 2 films at the end of the course. One documentary, Augustown Tells a Story, and one short film, Fast Lane. In 2012, as you heard earlier, the Greater Augustown Film Project was officially launched under the distinguished patronage of Professor Sir Kenneth Hall. A second cohort, comprising 20 students, were trained in an expanded 6-week course in filmmaking, with 15 successfully graduating. The program continued to expand, and in 2013, those students were then placed into groups to produce films that were showcased at the Greater Augustown Film Festival that was held for the first time in June 2013. As a result of the remarkable success story of Greater Augustown, the UWI Community Film Project was recognized as an inspiring model of excellence. Its impact has since then motivated numerous community groups and leaders to request implementation of the film project in communities across Jamaica. And the growth did not stop in 2013, as the expansion continued into 2014, when 50 recruits from communities of Greater Augustown, Mona Common, Nannyville, Mountain View enrolled in the film and video production course, and 30 graduated. In 2014, another significant milestone was achieved with the expansion of the project to the UWI Western Jamaica campus in order to facilitate participation by residents of communities surrounding Montego Bay. Getting closer to now, in 2015, 35 of 40 recruits from Greater Augustown, Norwood, and Canterbury graduated from the program under a special project facilitated by the Sir Arthur Lewis Institute of Social and Economic Studies, SALISIS. A group of residents from Portland Cottage also participated in the course. Last year, in 2016, the UWI Community Film Project partnered with the Montego Bay Marine Park to train 6 participants from its 3rd cohort at the Western Jamaica campus in scuba diving and underwater filming. The 2016 cohort is one of the largest, with approximately 60 students enrolled from, again, Augustown and Norwood, Trenchtown, Jonestown, Salt Spring, and Flankers in Montego Bay. And so I congratulate the architects of this unique concept and invite all stakeholders to stretch and push the envelope. We really need this program to continue for our young people in our inner city communities. In preparing to talk with you this afternoon, I came across an article written by Derek Cameron, the title of which is The Importance of Teaching Filmmaking. This is in US school districts. And in his article, he referenced a book called Global Achievement Gap. He said, Tony Wagner, author of The Global Achievement Gap and first Innovative Education Fellow at the Technology and Entrepreneurship Center at Harvard, outlined that the 7 survival skills that students need for careers in the 21st century are as follows: critical thinking, collaboration, agility and adaptability, initiative and entrepreneurship, accessing and analyzing information, effective oral and written communication, curiosity, and imagination. According to the author, the list does not touch on some of the qualities of innovators, which are essential, such as perseverance, a willingness to experiment, take calculated risk, and tolerate failure, and the capacity for design thinking. And so, in looking at the filmmaking industry, they asked the question, so why is filmmaking the perfect art form to teach young people? And he said, filmmaking and storytelling provide chances for young people to articulate their reality. When students feel invested in learning, they are motivated to work harder. Filmmaking asks students to consistently practice and apply real-world context to the knowledge they've acquired in the classroom. Film has a built-in evaluation system. Students cannot hide behind the work of peers. Film develops other valuable, transferable skills that make it the ideal educational activity. Film demands collaboration on a consistent basis, and the group dynamics builds new leadership and interpersonal skills across the disciplines. And he continues, just one more paragraph. No art form reinforces persistence against consistent disappointment better than filmmaking. Creating your story requires ownership. Students must convince others to engage, participate, and support. Painting, dancing, writing a novel, and making an album are all art forms that can be done individually. But with film, it's extremely rare to be able to create a film without communicating to a group of people united towards one plan. More often than not, this plan fails. because there are multiple opportunities for obstacles and setbacks, the students are handed an opportunity to come up with solutions. As Stacy Goodman wrote in Fuel Creativity in the Classroom with Divergent Thinking, when failure is framed by reflection and iteration, and less by penalty and closure, we are more likely to loosen up in our efforts and be less afraid to make mistakes. So that was straight out of that book, which I thought was pretty significant. And so what I want for us to do is to open ourselves to the possibility of taking this program not only into the existing communities, but to many, many more communities across Jamaica. Having been in Augustown for these past, going on almost 4 years now, I understand exactly what it means to young people for programs like these to come into the community. It fills them with hope. It gives them something very useful to do. They're developing a skill. And so I want to encourage you, Dr. Boxhill, to continue this very worthwhile activity. So as I close, GATFFEST certainly has etched its place in history here at the University of the West Indies. Already, it has made its mark in Jamaica, in the lives of citizens, in communities. I look forward to providing whatever support I can to help other communities in my constituency engage in the same way as Augustown has engaged. And I want to say to you, Dr. Boxhill, you have my support going forward. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Minister Williams. You mentioned painting and dancing. Of course, and there's a lot of talk about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But I like to say, without the arts, STEM has no steam. And so we want to we want to acknowledge in a special way because also because I benefited from this institution, the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts. I spent quite a few summers there, dance, music, drama. The only thing I didn't do is paint. Dance. Like really? No, dance. Yeah, like, you know. Right? First position, second position, etc., etc. And so the institution that is going to help to certify and train our people is represented this evening by Dr. Nicolene DeGrasse Johnson. She's the principal. She actually taught me to dance as well at one stage. Thank you so much. We should recognize Dr. Olivine Burke of the Mona Social Services Township. Dr. Burke, thank you. And now, I'm sure the moment you've all been waiting for. You've been getting the build-up, right? So we're going to hear now all about GATFFEST 2017. We're going to invite Ms. Savannah Perido to take us through the program of GATFFEST 2017. Let's welcome Savannah Perido.
Hi, good night, everyone. I'm going to take you through the program for 10 nights, but I promise I'll try to do it as quickly as possible. Well, the festival is in Kingston and Montego Bay, so we'll be having our Bay launch next week, May 18th, at the Western Jamaica campus. Then or Trenchtown Film Night on Saturday, May 27th. I'm sure Professor Boxill spoke about that. It is going to be at the iconic Ambassador Theatre. We've been having a lot of meetings with partners and stakeholders in Trenchtown, Dr. Henry Morgan, Junior Lincoln, Senator Golden, Ambassador Blake, and others, and we are so excited to take GATFFEST to Trenchtown, so we look forward to seeing everyone there. But our film night actually starts after that on June 15th in Kingston with the showing of the premiere film, Children of the Incursion, and we will show the trailer for that after this. It's a film by one of our UWICFP graduates, Alan Powell, with assistant directors E.K. Patterson and Ina Sotirova. This event is invitation only and will take place at the Mona Visitors Lodge. Then on our second night, June 16th, we'll be having our Indian Film Night. You know, when we looked at all the submissions for GATFFEST this year, we realized that we'd received a very high number of films from India, 99 films to be exact. So we reached out to the Indian High Commissioner, Commissioner M. Savala Naik, and he was kind enough to agree to a partnership with the High Commission for this showing. It will be held at the Indian High Commission and is by invitation only. For this night, we're going to show the following films. Dead End by Rakesh Kumar. Oh, by the way, please forgive me for the pronunciation of these names. We have films from all over the world. Dead End by Rakesh Kumar. Beautiful Roses by Vamshi Krishna Kandakuri. That Night Before Morning by Rakesh Kumar. Conversation by Herschel Wadkar. Wall by Pratik Mathur. And The First Letter by Navneet Mishra. Next, we have our film night in Montego Bay, and this is a mixture of local and international films. The admission for this is $1,000 for adults and $500 for children. We'll have two showings in Mobay, the first at 6 p.m., and we'll have a different set of films shown at 7:30 p.m. So for 6 o'clock showing, we'll have Stop Procrastinating by Sheldon Llewellyn, and that's a Jamaican film. Like Slaves in Freedom, Raoul Zecco, that's from Italy. Dark Dreamer by Max Poniszczowski, Germany. Triple X by Glenn Bromans, Belgium. A Grim Deal by Dario Shields, Jamaica. And that's a local Mobay film, by the way, and Dario Shields is one of our very own UWICFP graduates. The Box by Merv Chrysoglu Couture, and that's from the UK. Guantanamo Baby by Dave Lojek, and that's from Germany. And Cicella Amansi, Water Please, by Mulu Godolo, and that's from South Africa. For the second showing, we'll have Shakira by Omari Clayton, and that's from Tanzania. Fright by Shaquille Brooks, and that's a Jamaican film. Path by MD Abed Malik, Bangladesh. Kira by Dilkesh Rojbayani, and that's from Belgium. 1000% by Sietsi van der Molen, and that's from the Netherlands. Beneath the Surface, Safel Peterkin and DeLandre Duncan, Jamaica, and Hada, Tony Morales from Spain. On our fourth night, that's Sunday, June 18th, we'll have our Augusttown benefit at the Augusttown Primary School. We'll be showing short films that were created by members in the community as graduation films for the UWI Community Film Project or as previous entrants in GATFFEST. We'll also have performances from local persons in the community. Showtime is at 6 p.m. Tickets are $200 for adults and $200 for adults and $100 for children. And as I said before, this is a benefit. All proceeds will go to the Augusttown Primary School. On Monday, June 19th, we'll have our North American Film Night at Palace Cineplex, that's at Sovereign, with films from the US and Canada. Showtime is at 6 p.m. and tickets are $1,000 for adults and $500 for children. We're going to show the following films: The Opera Singer, Steve Kahn from the US. Sing for Your Supper, Muson, that's from the US. Translation by Ryan Singh from Canada. And Ryan Singh is a past GATFFEST winner. We're so happy to have him back this year. The Trial of Barnaby Finch by Sorrel Bray and Sam Stevens, that's from the US. Before It Ends by Bryce Marrero, US. Family Day by Ryan Singh, Canada. Again, Nick Gao, the US. Jimmy the Limo Driver, and that's produced by Milk Mustache Movies, the US. Echo by Sam Alexander, that's from Canada. Birthday by Chris King, and that's from the US, and I'm in Love with a Dead Girl by Brandon Renes, and that's from Canada. On Tuesday, June 20th, we'll have two separate regional showings at Palace Cineplex. First, we'll show our European selection starting at 5 p.m., then at 6:30 p.m., we'll show our Asian and Middle Eastern films. Tickets are $1,000 for adults and $500 for children, and we're going to show the following films in our European block. Monica by Newborn Short Film Agency, that's from Germany. One Ondo, Ruth Pickett from the UK. Us, Valentina Gordiva, that's from the UK. Gorilla by Thibaut Pinsard from France. The Beard by Sofia Badalova, Russia. Maria by Afro De Falco, and that's from Italy. Working Late by David Gelbank, and that's from the UK. Saved by Ivan Sanz Pardo from Germany. Cowboys and Indians from Clavelito Films, and that's from Spain. For our second block, and that's our Asian and Middle Eastern films, we'll have Help by Hossein Narsapur from Iran. Dream Vending Machine by Yin Xiao Wang, Taiwan. A Day in Block 815 by Wesley Leon Arusu, Singapore. People by Richard Legaspi from the Philippines. Ban Idol Cat by Hossein Narsapur from Iran. Cradle, Saman Hosimpour, Iran. Culture Shot, Zen Yi Kaur from Malaysia. House, Zanab Entesar from Afghanistan. Little Thing by Orkan Tour, and that's from Israel. On Wednesday, June 21st, we'll have our Japanese film night with a special showing of the anime film 5 centimeters per second. This is a film by a well-renowned Japanese filmmaker, Makoto Shinkai, and this is another collaboration, this time with the Japanese Embassy and Japan Foundation, who expressed interest in being a part of GATFFEST 2017 very early in our planning stages this year, and we were so excited to have them on board. Next, on Thursday, June 22nd, we'll have our Caribbean and Latin American Film Night. And this starts off with a workshop by Andrew Tocco, who is a Colombian filmmaker, but we'll get to that in a minute. We're actually introduced, I think you're told, we're introduced to Andrew Tocco some months ago when he premiered his film El Viaje del Acordeon, The Accordion's Voyage, at Palace Amusements, and we're able to form a partnership with the Colombian Embassy, who are kind enough to assist us in bringing him back for GATFFEST. His workshop will be on low-budget filmmaking, and it will begin at 5 p.m. at Palace. He will also be showing two of his short films, The Ratanaut and Las Ceras de Chimichagua, The Mats of Chimichagua. This workshop is free to the public. But then we'll have our films later on at 6:30, admission $1,000 for adults, $500 for children, and we'll show the following films. Finito by Mauricio Bartok from Brazil. Caribbean Style by Fiona Compton from St. Lucia. Travesseros, or Pillows, from Almir Correa, Brazil. Redman, from Jared Primo in Trinidad. Sweat, Hosea Persad, Trinidad. And Yesterday's Rain by Armand Simon, Aruba. On Friday, June 23rd, we'll have our Jamaican Film Night at the Bob Marley Museum, thanks to our partners at the Bob Marley Foundation. And we'll show two separate sets of films, beginning at 6 p.m., then our second group of films at 7:30. And since we expect all our filmmakers to be present, we decided what better way to close off this Jamaican Film Night than to have a free after party. We encourage everyone to come out, watch some local films, meet the filmmakers, eat, drink. It's all free, but you have to buy the tickets first. For the first showing, we'll have Enhanced by Joshua Paul, The Odd Ones Out by Daniel Russell, Silent Heart by Janet Morrison, Inspired by Shaquille Brooks, How to Kill a Fish by Daniel Russell, Guilty Pleasures by Leon Lennon. And for the second showing, we'll have Hustle Up by Garfield Rose, Shoot the Girl by Tony Hendricks, Ding by Robin Chin, Tense by Rajiv Pollard, Analog by Mario Allen, Bad Company by O'Dane Thompson and Leehard Colthurst, The Throne by Sheldon Llewellyn, and Don't Judge Too Quickly by Omar McKay. Finally, we'll have our closing night on Saturday, June 24th at the Faculty of Medical Sciences here on campus, beginning at 6 p.m. First, we'll show the very best of GATFFEST, well, the best films for the entire festival, and then we'll have our awards ceremony afterwards. Now, I want to speak a little bit about the workshops. As I mentioned before, we'll be bringing in Andrew Tucker from Colombia, but we'll also be bringing in Menelik Shabazz from the UK, and most of you may have known him for his film Catch a File. But we'll be having 2 workshops with him, one in Kingston and one in Montego Bay. The Montego Bay workshop will be on June 17th, I believe, and Saturday, June 24th, we'll have the Kingston workshop at the Faculty of Law. The one in Mobay will be at the Western Jamaica campus. And that is it for the program for GATFFEST 2017. However, before I go, I just can't leave without thanking our sponsors. Office of the Principal and the Grace Kennedy Foundation, of course, for your unwavering support. High Commission of India, the Embassy of Japan and Japan Foundation, the Colombian Embassy, the Faculty of Social Sciences, Bob Marley Foundation, Palace Amusements, Mona Visitors Lodge, Love Your Shorts Film Festival in Florida, Mona Social Services, Jason Del Valle Caterers, Rumfire, Hampton Estates, Outdoor Cinema, Jamaica, Institute of Caribbean Studies, Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts, our media sponsors, New Start 93 FM, UWICFP, and Cool 97 FM. And that is it. That's the program for GATFFEST. We have tickets on sale outside, so just in case you want to get your tickets very early. Thank you.
That was very good. She did all of that in the dark. She must have 20/20 vision. Well done. Well done, Savannah. Well done. Okay, so then, where are the filmmakers? Can we see by a show of hands the filmmakers in the room? Where are the filmmakers? Around the back there hiding. Can we have a round of applause for our filmmakers, please? You mentioned, of course, the Bob Marley Museum Jamaica Night. Of course, today is the 36th anniversary of the death of the legendary Robert Nesta Marley, OM. Yeah, let's give it up for Bob Marley. What is also instructive is that we're having the launch of GATFFEST on the anniversary of the Academy of Motion Pictures. It was established on this day back in 1927. So, there you go. It's an auspicious occasion. And now, it's time for us to hand you back to Terry Carell. Who do you have this time, Terry?
I have Tina Griffiths, but before I get to that, Savannah Peridot did such a good job trying to wrap up so many things in this calendar. And she started mentioning some of those films. Did you hear the names? Mm-hmm. 2 that stood out. I'm in love with a dead girl, and the other one said, shoot the girl. Did anyone hear that? I don't know if it was a part 2 to the, I'm just saying. And it was really amazing to hear the countries. Mm-hmm. So even though she was reading through a lot of names, I heard South Africa, Singapore, Bangladesh, and I'm saying, wow. So it's one thing for outsiders to appreciate us and what we have to offer, but I think as citizens, we need to yearn to see what our filmmakers are doing as well. Let it not just be for the international films, but also for ours. So let it not just be outsiders loving us and appreciating us, but us loving ourselves. But I'd love to see, I'm in love with a dead girl. I can't wait to see. So Tina Griffiths, thank you so very much for sitting down here with me in the dark. For those of you who don't know, she is the project coordinator of the UA Community Film Project, as well as a program coordinator for GATFFEST. And I understand that you're going to tell us all about the happenings of the awards night. I mean, we heard about the El Archie Award, and of course, Chappie Award. So tell us.
Thank you very much, Terry. So, as Savannah said, it's going to be the 24th of June. It's in the lecture theater room, which is right behind here, lecture room 2, and we have 14 awards. There is the Best Directing Film, which is named after Mr. Franklin Saint-Just. There's the Most Original Screenplay, Best Directing, the Best Local Film, which is a Lenny Little White film. With this award also goes an all-access pass to Love the Shorts in Sanford, Florida. There is the Best International or Regional Film, the Best of the UWI Community Film Project Film, Spirit of GATFFEST Award, the Best of GATFFEST, which is the Archibald McDonald Award, the Best Animation Award, Best Young Filmmaker Award. And this is a new award we're introducing.
And what is that?
We realize that a lot of our filmmakers are between the ages of 16 and 25, 28. And so we are acknowledging them as upcoming filmmakers in the Jamaican industry.
Very cool.
There's also the Viewers' Choice Award, so the viewers will have an opportunity to cast their votes for their best films, and so this is happening in Kingston and also Montego Bay.
Where would that voting take place? Is that on the GATFFEST website, or would it be like Facebook or social media?
So persons are able to watch the films, and at that very moment, they are able to vote. At the end of the night, we tally everything, and then we announce the film that has won for that particular screening.
Okay, so it's happening in real time.
Yes.
Fantastic.
There is also the Lamar Duki Award for Best Editing, and this is for the UWICFP films, which have been done as graduation pieces. Lamar Duki was a past student of ours. He died tragically, and so we are putting an award in his name. He was a really good editor. Lastly, there is the Mona Social Service Award for Community Change. Also a new award. We realize that some of our graduates have taken the project into the community and have used that to make themselves into young entrepreneurs, as well as to enact community change.
Right, so they're young leaders or youth leaders as well.
Yes, and so we are thankful for all of these persons who have come through the program, who have supported us throughout the years, and that's really basically it. So we're gonna have the Best of GATFFEST films, and then we're gonna go straight into the awards ceremony.
The only other question I have is, so many films, so many countries, so little awards. How difficult is it for your judges? I mean, maybe, I don't know if you might have the insight, but how difficult or how long does that process take?
Okay, so in selecting the films, we took about 3 weeks to decide which films we should pass on to the judges.
Wow.
The judges have about the same time to decide, and I've had some conversation with them. There are favorites, and there are ones that they've not been able to decide on. And so we are going to tally that very soon to let the filmmakers know if they have won an award.
Oh, thank you so very much. And I wish everyone, all the filmmakers, all the best. For those of you who don't know Chappie, I had the privilege of meeting him, but everyone who's ever attended Karamak has told me personally, if your work is not up to standard, Chappie does not mince words. He will tell you it is utter rubbish and you need to start over again. So I'm very interested to see who walks away with that award. Thank you so very much, Tina, for your assistance.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so very much. Please applaud her. So Dervon, over to you.
Thank you very much, Terry Carell. So now, we are going to invite you to watch a video reel of Children of the Incursion trailer, GATFFEST 2017 workshop teasers, and GATFFEST Take 5 teaser, after which Terry will have a little chat with Alan Powell and Ms. Ika Patterson about the premiere film for GATFFEST, Children of the Incursion. Let's roll the videos. Can we hit the lights first? Let's hit the lights, and then we roll the videos. Feast your eyes.
On May the 24th, I was at home with my family. At the time, I was 11 years old.
It was a normal day until I heard the gunshot start firing.
It was a very traumatic event for anybody who was involved in it.
Right now, we're dealing with the social, economic, emotional effects of the incursion and the mere fact that we weren't prepared and we didn't adequately address the psychological needs of the children involved.
I'm kind of like the woman in my relationship. I'll be real. I'll be real.
I just think black men are scared of black women.
You hear women say, well, I can sleep with a guy and get up and move on, and it doesn't bother me. It's psychobiologically impossible.
There's one little something, bruv. He's just done a big doo-doo, but it's not even a big doo-doo. He's not even farted yet. I'm not sharing nothing.
Oh, le la la la, yeah, ah, mi muchacho,
On May the 24th, I was at home with my family. At the time, I was 11 years old.
It was a normal day until I heard the gunshot start firing.
It was very traumatic.
Thank you so very much. So we're now turning our attention. We did have some audio difficulties, but we started off with the trailer for the movie Children of the Incursion. And what's really amazing about it is that I did not know we had an audio issue. I actually thought that was a part of the build-up. I really did not know. And I'm joined with Alan Powell, who is the producer and a graduate of the UWI Community Film Project. How are you? Repping Denham Town.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I just visited Denham Town, I think 2 weeks ago. And of course, E.K. Campbell, director. Welcome, guys. Talk to us about the film. What is it about, or where did it come from?
Well, the film is about how the children of Incursion were affected, and how they were traumatized.
And of all the content and material that is there, social issues, economic issues, political issues, why was that the one that grabbed you, that you said, you know what, I have to do a story on this particular thing?
Well, that's a very good question, because why I think about that topic, because right now at Denham Town and Tivoli there's a war after the incursion, and there's no resolution of it. And what I see living there as a resident, I see that the most violence happening is the young kids, about 16-year-olds and about 17 to 18-year-olds. So those are young men doing those crimes. So as I said, I have to do something about this. I have to put some document together and put it out on the film. So I met with the film production.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the amazing part of it, to put it on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now that you've watched it, we haven't seen it, but now that you've watched it, do you kind of sit back and say, yo, I'm me that, I'm me that? Like, how do you feel? Express it, especially for young filmmakers, people who might be thinking of doing filmmaking but have no idea. What has your journey been like, and how do you feel to know that this is your film?
Well, I feel very wonderful in myself, knowing that I'm from Denham Town, doing such an amazing job, and there was many challenges coming and going towards my objective by both residents and both army persons. So there was a lot of
resistance.
Yeah.
But you're gonna get your word out.
Yeah.
Your advice or tips for filmmakers in terms of using the platform to highlight issues, what would you tell them?
Well, can you repeat that question?
for filmmakers, because, for example, you just said that you got resistance and there were obstacles and there were challenges. What is your advice to filmmakers who want to highlight issues but also face the challenges? What should they do?
Well, from they know what they want, I think they should continue what they want and don't let no one or nothing in their way come across their way. So I think they should just push straight towards what they want, because filmmaking is very wonderful, and you know it's on the screen, but many people don't know what's going on, as in the raw material. So you know, when they put it on the screen, people over the world get to know what's going on, what's the main thing.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
20?
Well, 22 actually. Sunday.
So you forget Sunday go? Okay, because I was just going to say, oh, you forget your birthday.
Yeah,
happy belated birthday. I would sing for you, but then everyone would have to leave because I sound terrible. Ike, what was it like on this journey, making this film, working with the community, getting the content together? What was all of that like?
Good evening. Well, to be honest with you, Alan did a lot of, he did all the work. He was the producer. He did the script writing, the research. He found the participants. So he made the journey really easy. I mean, going into the communities is Alan's community. But I just want to say that some of the challenges that we had in the communities, I remember there was one time when some shots fired, right? And we had to jump in the bus and, you know, just get out of there. I think a couple of the times when we were in Tivoli, we were accosted by some of the young men wanting to know, you know, why you filming on Dodos's corner. Of course. So, you know, we came across some of those challenges, you know. I think there was an incident where we were accosted by another man who was like, hey, you want to come here, you better get permission. You know, so we came across them. And I'm very proud of Alan because, you know, he spoke about the violence that's going on now. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I said, Alan, we're going over to Tivoli, and Alan was like, oh, I'm not going, because he's from Denhamtown.
Right.
And on the day that we were going, Alan's like, I'm coming. And so Alan came into Tivoli, and, you know, Alan had not been there for like, nearly a year, right? And has family over there. So his family were pleased to see him, gave him a pair of trousers, you know, not seen him for a long time. And Alan was there in this community as a young man from Denhamtown, that two communities are at war and tension. And he came, and they welcomed us, right? And they were asking us, you know, what you doing here? We were telling them we're doing the documentary. Then they wanted to know more about Alan, about the film project, right, Alan? They were saying, sign us up, sign us up. So, you know, the journey was great. It's not over because Alan has given us lots more stories out of the community that we can go in and film these stories. So yeah, it's just beginning, right, Alan?
22. May God bless you as iron sharpened. Listen, it is wonderful when you hear he's doing great things, and it also shows you the bravery. Sometimes being a filmmaker and talking about your truths and showing your truths requires you doing things that make you uncomfortable and even afraid. But we thank you so very much for picking this story, which is very important, for actually going beyond the challenges and the resistance, and then in essence, telling other people, yo, you can do this too. 22 years old, Alan Powell, producer and graduate of the UWIC Community Film Project, and he's accompanied by E.K. Campbell, director, and of course, his film is Children of the Incursion. We look forward to seeing the actual film. We saw the trailer, but we look forward to seeing the film. When is the date? June 15. Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, our future in filmmaking is safe. Thank you so very much. Durban.
Karel, quite a story. At this time, if you have questions for Professor Boxhill, Savannah Perido, Tina Griffiths, any questions from members of the media or the general audience? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay. Everything is palpably clear. No need to go any further on that. So at this time, I'm going to ask Professor MacDonald to join me at the lectern to officially launch GATFFEST. I know you said it in your speech earlier on, but this is the symbolic gesture now. And you're going to help us as well to present, along with Professor Boxhill, to present tickets to GATFFEST to the patron, His Excellency Professor Sir Kenneth Hall. I wonder who he'll be taking with him to watch these films. Come on.
What a wonderful story from Ika and the young man over here. Films bring communities together. And Ian, you're beside me. We have heard those stories so many times. Also heard some wonderful stories coming out of Montego Bay. So, Ian, also the quality has improved. Ika, remember the early days yeah, the quality has improved so much. Fantastic. Let us applaud Ian and his colleagues. And with that, although I said it during my earlier presentation, it gives me great pleasure to declare the 2017 Augustown Film Festival launched. Thank you.
And just as an indicator of this launch, I'm going to present on behalf of GATFFEST 2 tickets to Sir Kenneth and Lady Hall.
You have your answer now. I didn't have to give it. Indeed, enjoy. Thank you so much. So all that's left for us to do is to thank you all so much for coming out to this evening's launch of GATFFEST 2017. Let's keep in mind the dates for GATFFEST. Put in the dates in your smart devices right now. June 15th to 24th, the 15th to the 24th of June. Please put in those dates right now. 10 days filled with exciting films, interesting workshops, master classes in filmmaking and entertaining events. Tickets available for sale at the door. We do encourage you to purchase several on your way out. You can get your tickets right now. Yeah, and we invite you to enjoy some refreshments on the outside. And thanks once again. Thank you very much, Terry Carell-Reed. All right. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the evening, and thank you once again for coming. Safe journey to your respective destinations. Take care. Announcement?
Yeah, for a card, a security card. A gate pass. A gate pass. Has anybody found a gate pass?
Okay. Which was, is that somewhere inside here?
Or anywhere outside?
If you see a gate pass anywhere, that card that you need before you can drive out,